Right here, I do have a Daniel Defense, and this is a DD M4A1 Riz 3. So pretty, that's a mouthful there, but ultimately it's a 16-inch barrel with a pinned and welded muzzle device at the end, making it just over 16 inches long. So I chose this rifle because I do trust the reliability from Daniel Defense. There's a lot of other really solid brands out there too. I have another DD rifle that I got 6 or 7 years ago. Never had a malfunction. I've had one ammo failure on that rifle, and I've shot thousands and thousands of rounds through it. And with this rifle here, I've also shot quite a bit of rounds, not quite as much as a different rifle I have, which has in the multi-tens, teens, thousands of rounds. So I choose this rifle because I trust the reliability of it and the brand. Overall, I've had a great experience with it. So this specific rifle is a little bit on the heavy side compared to some other rifles I have, but the overall build of the this platform here, it's built to be tough, get through everything that I need it to do, and be reliable. I have this rifle paired with my preferred optic setup, which is a EOTech with a magnifier. I'll talk a little bit more about that later in the video. So on this rifle, guys, I have expensive but reliable parts on here, and I'll explain why I chose every little section of this part from start all the way to finish, front to back here. So I've spent years of my own money and my own time testing many parts, and I'm hoping I can provide you guys some information so you don't have to do as much testing, spending as much money as I have. So AR-15s are highly modular, so why not get every little part of them exactly the way you want, exactly where you want things to be, and exactly how you want it to perform. Stick around and I'll explain specifically why this rifle is set up exactly the way it is. I recommend acquiring these types of parts when you see companies running site-wide sales. And if you're not in any rush, you can start saving up now. Right now, when this video will come out, is April of 2024. I have found that year over year, Black Friday is the best day of the year to find basically anything you're looking for on discount. You can really find some really, really good deals. So if you don't need anything today, right now, that would be a great time to look at in the near future. But yeah, guys, let's start looking in depth to this rifle. So we'll start front to back. So starting from the front, I do have a 3-prong flash hider up front. This is the Surefire flash hider. It does a great job at flash suppression, as well as it's compatible with Surefire suppressors. So this is my preferred choice. I've tested a lot before, but as far as running suppression, this is what I'm going with right now. I do have flip up sights right here. These are the metal Magpul sights. I have used other flip up sights before. I do like the flip up sights preferred to the fixed ones. Right here you can see this is the M-Bus version of Magpul, which is polymer, and they chonky. I mean, if you look at in comparison, it is much thicker, and they are cheaper, but it's thicker and they're polymer. I've not really had any issues with how they function overall. They're just a little bit bigger, and I like putting my faith in the metal, and I think that the front post is probably a little bit more thin, so you can get more precise shooting further away. So I do really like that. Next up, we have a Surefire Scout. So this is a little bit older Surefire, not crazy old, but I do really like it. I have the tail cap back here that has the push button, constant on and off. And if you're coming across here, routing to the mod light push button, the way this comes from mod light is a Picatinny attachment. I do like having the M-lock attachment so I can kind of have it off to the side a little bit for my preferred grip. So yeah, I do really like the mod light stuff. Next, moving back, we have right here underneath, we have some grip panels. These are some preferred grip panels I like with this specific rail, which is the RIS 3 Daniel Defense rail. And moving back further is a Daniel Defense foregrip. So when I'm holding this, I'm a right-handed shooter, so when I'm holding this, I usually don't just grip the foregrip like this. I'll kind of C-clamp over like this here, or I'll grab even further up. So that does help with my grip overall. If you start getting lazy, you can hold it down here like this. So that's my preferred setup for the foregrip. All right, guys, moving back a little further, I have the BCM sling attachment. There's one already in this rail, but I do like to move it up just a touch further. And I like to run it a little bit behind my grip because I find the sling isn't getting kind of in the way as much behind my hand. I know some people like to run it way forward, some people way back, but this is, I like to have it as far up as possible as I can without going in front of my hand. Just the way I grip the rifle, I've found that that's the best location for me personally. All right, guys, and moving back on this Daniel Defense, it does have ambidextrous controls. So there is the bolt catch, the bolt drop, and even a mag release on the left side. And on the right side, there is also mag drop, bolt catch, and release, which is awesome if you're a right-handed shooter, especially that bolt catch on the right side. So you can have your finger right here to catch the bolt. I really, really like the bolt catch feature for a right-handed shooter. Additionally, it has kind of standard style safety selector that's ambi. So let's talk about optics. There's a lot of different preferred optic setups for people. I am a big EOTech guy. I've used them for a long, long time. And I love a red dot, and the EOTech is the king of them all. It's technically a holographic red dot, but red dots are my preferred way to shoot. And you can shoot them out pretty far. You know, when I was first getting into shooting rifles, I didn't fully understand how far you can shoot without magnification. So for me, I mostly shoot a red dot or this EOTech with the magnifier not down. So this is a EXPS3, and it is the night vision compatible model. I do have a 4-dot model on this. So the very first dot, you zero it to 50 yards, which will also be the same distance to 200. The second dot is for 400. The third dot is for 500 yards. And the fourth is for 600 yards. And I do like it pretty well. I would prefer probably the 2-dot model. So I think the main first dot is set up for 50 yards and 200, as long as you zero it correctly. And then the second dot, I believe, is for very close engagement of targets, or 400, maybe 500. The 4 dots may be a little bit busy if you're close up, but with the magnifier, I really do enjoy it. So I'd probably prefer the 2-dot because it's a little less busy. Make sure you guys are conscious of which model you get before you complete a purchase with EOTech. But I was lucky and found this for about 150 bucks off. So to me, that was a smoking deal and one I felt like I couldn't pass up. EOTechs are expensive. It is what it is. But, you know, if you want a good optic setup, there's no shortcut in that. But yeah, guys, like I mentioned, I've tried many different setups. I have some firearms that have LPVOs, scopes, tried HoloSun, other brands, you know, nothing dissing them, but for my go-to favorite setup is this right here. I actually graduated from having this one, which is this version is the absolute co-witness. So when you have your sights flipped up, it will co-witness exactly with your iron sights. And that's pretty good, but I do like the this one, which is a lower 1/3 with a quick detach right here, so you can quickly pop it off. It gets your head placement up a little bit higher and you can still see your optics. I know some guys are getting these and running optic risers, which, you know, that's good. You just, the closer you can get to the bore, the more accurate you'll shoot without having to memorize a bunch of holds and stuff like that. So, I feel like the lower 1/3 is a good balance between all of that, and especially if you're wanting to shoot out to very far yardage, such as 300, 400, 500 yards, having such a high mount will really start to kind of skew, and you'll start to have to memorize more your holds. And this magnifier here is the G33 magnifier, which is a 3x magnifier. So this magnifier paired with this 4-dot setup makes it really good to shoot far out, and it's got the flip to side, the flip to side, as well as a QD quick detach here, which I'll show you what it looks like. So here's the rifle without the magnifier on. The magnifier's a little heavy. You can definitely feel when the magnifier's off. It feels lighter. I mean, it's not the end of the world having it. I'm not sure exactly how much it weighs, but it does have some of the EOTechs do have some of the best eye relief and just great clarity and performance overall. I've tried other brands and I've had issues with the way they mount being loose, or just felt kind of flimsy. This feels beefy, solid. I can really trust this thing. All right, guys, moving back a little bit further, I have the Radian Raptor charging handle, which is so ambidextrous. So I can actually grip it just with one finger on either side. And I've used Radian for a long time now. I have them on almost every single one of my rifles. You can double finger it, or you can just grip one side pretty easily. This is the model that has the ports along in here, the internals. There's some ports that go down this way in this charging handle, which supposedly is supposed to help with gas blowback for when you're shooting suppressed. When I shoot this thing suppressed, I use a 30 cal can. So for me, it's pretty flow through. I haven't really noticed any too crazy of gas to begin with. But yeah, solid charging handle. All right, guys, moving back further here. So B5 Systems is my favorite grip. I have another video talking all about grips and my experience with probably 6, 7, 8 different types of grips. And before this was on here, I had a DD grip, which would have matched the rifle perfectly. It would have looked sweet. But ultimately, for the functionality, I always end up back with the B5 grip. Very texturized, and the biggest thing for me is this tang right here. I love how much separation this tang gives me back here from the trigger a little bit, and it gets my hand in a perfect placement. So B5 Systems is solid. Also down here, I can run extra batteries in this little compartment for EOTech or other things. All right, next I have a bronze Geisley buffer tube. Completely unnecessary, if I'm being honest. These were just on sale. I was building another rifle, and that other rifle was going to be black, and this, like I said, was on sale and just fits perfectly on here. So yeah, guys, I mean, definitely unnecessary, but I'm happy I did it because it just makes the overall finish of this thing sweet. It has a little bit of shine to it when you're close up, but overall matches the B5 stuff really well. And lastly here, I have the B5 Systems, I think it's called the SOP mod stock, which is my favorite stock as well. I've tried a number of other stocks too. So I had the full DD kit before this, which looked awesome. But just overall function for me of the B5 system stuff is phenomenal. And you can have little compartments in here as well for, again, more batteries for optics, lights, lasers, night vision, all that stuff. But yeah, guys, thank you so much for sticking around this long. I love this rifle. I prefer the setup to other rifles I have. The only thing I'm missing for this is a infrared laser and nods. I don't have nods yet, so why get the laser? But hopefully they'll be coming soon. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think of this video. I hope it helps you guys a little bit and breaks down a little bit of this is my perfect setup for me. Hopefully this gives you some considerations of what you might be looking for, what's useful for you. And yeah, guys, you guys stay prepared out there because you just never know these days what's going on. So thank you for sticking around. Like I said, I hope this information was helpful for you guys. If you like content like this, feel free to jump on board and subscribe to my channel. It really helps grow this channel. So thank you again, and you guys take care.